Week 1 of college football. Let's get into it. I'm going to be going through and just predicting the games that I see fit. First game on the docket is Boise State at South Florida. South Florida is 6-point dogs. Look, I think that's a long road trip up in the Northwest, all the way down to the Southeast. First game of the year, no Genty. I think they're going to struggle. They were Genty dependent, and obviously everybody gets that. And I think it's going to be a 50-50 game. I think Boise claws their way back in the second half. I do think South Florida is going to open up quick, especially in that heat. It's a rough time to play in South Florida, especially if you're a Northwestern team or Northeastern team. I'm going to take the +6 for South Florida. I think it's going to be a close game. Over-under 63. I mean, that's crazy. I probably wouldn't touch the over-under. That's just such an insane total to have. And that's a Thursday game. Other than that, there's nothing too exciting on Thursday. You do have Miami of Ohio going to play Wisconsin. Wisconsin's going to win that game pretty easily. They're 17.5-point dogs, so probably wouldn't watch anything other than the Boise game. Now on Friday, we've got one good game. Auburn at Baylor. Auburn is -2.5. And once again, I'm going to take the home dogs. Now, 2.5 points is nothing crazy, but I think Baylor is going to be good this year. I think Baylor is going to be good. These SEC teams are getting overrated. You know, when we look at the ESPN FPI, they are severely overrating these SEC teams. And even when they lose, they're still going to have them high in the rankings because they think the SEC is the best thing ever. So when the best SEC team loses to the second best, they're like, oh, well, you lost to another great team. So I think Auburn's a little overrated. I'm going to take Baylor +114 money line. I think that's a strong value. Now the big game of the week. Big noon. Not sure why they're playing at noon. It's absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. You got Texas +1.5 at Ohio State -1.5. So it's pretty much a pick 'em. They're, with the line, they're saying that Texas is a little bit better because Ohio State's home field is going to give them a 2.5-point swing. Pretty much pick 'em teams. And I'm going against the grain. I'm going to take the Ohio Buckeyes. Look, they've got Jeremiah Smith. I think when you have a talent of that caliber, I know they've got a new quarterback. I get that. I understand that. But this team with Jeremiah Smith, if he's as good as everyone's making him out to be, and I do think he is that elite, going to be the number 1 overall pick when he declares, I don't know what Texas is going to do. It's cool that Archie Manning's playing awesome. And he might be a great guy. I mean, he might be a great quarterback. But right off the bat, is he going to be competing with this Jeremiah Smith-led offense? I think Ohio State wins, especially with them being at home. Neutral site, maybe I go Texas. At home, opening game, I think Ohio State wins relatively comfortably. So I've got Ohio State -1.5. You got Tennessee at Syracuse. I like Syracuse +13.5. They're at home. Tennessee they've got a new quarterback. That whole fiasco with Iamagaloa, whatever, going to play for UCLA. I think Tennessee's going to start on a bit of a slump. I do think they're going to win. 14 points for a decent Syracuse team. I know Syracuse lost their quarterback as well. I think they'll keep it. They'll keep it within 2 touchdowns, especially at home. Now let's get to a good game. We got Marshall at Georgia. Marshall lost the entire team. Pretty much everybody left. Other than, when they had the incident a while back, I doubt they've ever lost even close to this amount of players in one fell swoop. They're playing at Georgia. This is an obvious tune-up game. The money line is not even, you can't even bet on the money line. The spread is -39.5. Look, if you're betting on a -39.5 spread, I don't really see the point. It's essentially gambling. Sport betting in general is gambling. -39.5. It's just such it just depends on if Georgia wants to run it. Like, could Georgia win by 50? Yeah. They're going to have to try and risk getting people injured and play their starters until the end of the game. So I guess maybe they do it. I have no clue. And we got another similar game. Nevada at Penn State. Both these games are being played at 3:30. Penn State's -44.5. I legitimately, if I find out someone's betting these games, betting a 44.5 point spread, I don't even know what to say. I legitimately, I don't even know what you're rooting for. It's just as absurd. Obviously, Penn State and Georgia are both going to win their games, but is it going to be by that much? That's going to be a good one. It's an interesting game. It's a big spread, not as big as the other two. Texas A&M at home versus UTSA. Texas A&M is getting a lot of hype. It's going to be that kind of sleeper team to make a big run at things. Do they get cocky? I think we know Penn State and we know Georgia are going to win, even if they lose the first quarter somehow, which I don't think is going to happen. Those teams can claw back. Is Texas A&M that good? Are they that proven that even with a very rough first quarter, if they get down 14-0, is Texas A&M that good that they're going to claw back? Probably, but this could be a closer game. I think UTSA could push them. LSU at Clemson. Look, I'm a big Clemson guy. I think Clemson is legit this year. -4 Death Valley versus Death Valley. I guess the winner of the game gets to be the official Death Valley. Look, -4. They're essentially saying that this is a pick'em. I don't think so. I think Clemson's a superior team. The defensive line's nasty. They have an 8th-year quarterback, not literally, but when these guys start getting above 25 years old, it gets dicey. I think Clemson wins comfortably. I think they do win. Now, LSU could keep it close. I'm not discounting the backdoor cover. I'm not discounting a close game because LSU is legit. I do think Clemson will win by 7 to 10 points. Now, we got New Mexico, Michigan. Look, another one of these redonkulous games. 36.5-point spread. I mean, give me a break. 36.5-point spread. And we got Ole Miss, Georgia State, 38.5-point spread. This is why, not to go on too much of a rant, this is why whenever people say college football is better than the NFL, maybe if you're talking about Ohio State versus Texas, yeah, Ohio State versus Texas is better than the Colts playing the Dolphins. Yeah, I agree with that. But if we're taking the average NFL game versus the average college football game, the average college football game is a 20-point spread. The average NFL game is probably a 5 or 6-point spread. I mean, it's at least competitive. You got a good one here, Utah versus UCLA. Look, it's a big game for Iamagalolia, however you say his name. Big game. Look, he screwed over Tennessee big time. Big time. He's playing at home versus a good Utah team. This win would mean a lot, especially if Tennessee doesn't have a good week one. You know, if Tennessee starts off dominant, it's whatever. But if UCLA goes on a little bit of a run and Tennessee struggles, it's gonna get dicey. We got 2 games on Sunday. We got a game on Monday. They're playing every day of the week. They're like the NFL. We're not even gonna know which week it is. They're gonna be playing every single day. You got Virginia Tech playing South Carolina. South Carolina -7.5. Come on, give me South Carolina. South Carolina with Lenore Sellers versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech night game at home. They're a little dangerous. They're a little pesky. On the road, come on, really? We think Virginia Tech's going to keep it within a score. Give me a break. South Carolina's going to dominate that game. Notre Dame at Miami. This is going to be an interesting one. You've got Notre Dame, who just lost in the final game in the championship to a very good Ohio State team. You got Miami, who pretty good team last year, not on the same level as Notre Dame, but Miami does have a 6-year quarterback, and that means a lot. Experience means a lot in college football. They've got a lot of talent to replace Cam Ward. I got to go Notre Dame, though. It's a 2.5-point spread. Notre Dame's favored by 2.5 points. You replace Cam Ward with Stetson Bennett. You're hoping you get similar production, but are you going to make a big jump? They might make the playoffs. I'm not discounting that. Are you going to make a big jump going from Cam Ward, number 1 pick, to Stetson Bennett? I don't think it's going to be that drastic. Maybe they stay the same. Then you got TCU versus North Carolina. I'm going to go North Carolina. North Carolina's -3.5. I think Bill Belichick's going to be a great college football coach. I don't know if they're going to win the ACC, but I do think Bill is going to be. I do think Bill's going to be excellent. And if I can pull it up, I'm going to give you kind of my college football bracket odds. Can we get the odds? Can we get the odds? Where are they at? I'm going to pull up the playoff odds, and I'm going to give you my take on these. You got to stand by. Stand down. College football odds. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Playoff, yes or no? That's the NFL. That's not what I was looking for. Yeah, let's see if I can type with my left hand. College football playoff odds. Should be juicy once we can find them. Not cut out for this college football stuff. It's tough to find any of this information. You got to go on. Oh, that's not even. That's a different sport. Oh man. This is a sign I shouldn't be given college football predictions. Okay. We got odds to win the championship. We'll go down. I'll tell you the good values here. Texas plus 550. Look, they were a dominant team last year. They lost to Ohio State. They got Archie Manning. They're obviously dangerous. Plus 550. That's tough. The first couple teams, I don't really like the odds because you're betting them at a 20% chance to win. That just feels rich with all the things that can happen in college football. You got Ohio State at plus 600. Once again, I don't love it. They do have Jeremiah Smith, so he's kind of that X factor.